Welcome back to Copperhead Customs, and today we are back. Yes, finally we are back on something cool. This is our 1928 Oakland, and let's see what we do to it today. So yes, like I said, welcome back. We're finally back on one of our hot rods. Like I stated, this is our 1928 Oakland, rare as rockin' horse. You know what I mean. And this, for a quick recap if you're new or even you might have forgotten about this one. This one we got, it was fenders, chassis, non-boxed in chassis, the motor, the cow and the doors, and basically that is it. We've fully boxed in all the chassis, X-framed, all this stuff. It's running a Ford 302 Cleveland. We've put a Jag IRS front suspension in.
That's right, a Jag.
That's right, a Jag.
And we've put a Jag rear suspension in.
That's right, a Jag.
That's right, a Jag.
We have fully hand fabricated the back half of the cab. We've fully hand fabricated the tray, the bonnet, the nose cone, all of this good stuffs. We've made a fully custom hard lid, not that you can see it under all the dust and overspray, wooden sides. We've stuck an old school bumper on the back. We've got a brass grille. I'm not quite sure what the brass grille was off. We've made our own bonnet emblems. That one there, that's off a 57 Chevy. Some of you Americans probably would realise. We've brought some wood up the front and placed it in between the chassis rails. We've put the chrome smoothies on it with white walls. There's lots of cool stuff and features on this build. We're running a crocodile leather interior. The whole thing is been hand built, plucked out of my brain. And doing it cheap as usual. It is a bit of a weapon, and we have had a break on it for over probably 6 months since we've touched it. You get a bit burnt out on these projects, but since I have moved our little Chevy out of the shed, I stood back and looked at this thing and I fell back in love with it. And as usual, we've done most of it a bit left of field, different than most people do, using whatever we kind of find laying around. We try to make stuff look as good as possible, as cheaply as possible. We've done wooden running boards, and you know, yes, they are strong. We've had all sorts of stuff happening. So today, what are we going to do? I hear you saying, because you're sick of me talking. Exactly. So if we're looking in this area here, one of the features of this Oakland is this wheel well, a beautiful feature with the little wheel well holder. But back in 1928, they didn't have wheels like this. They had wheels like this. So the measurement inside our little wheel well is about approximately 150 millimeters, 5.5 to 6 inches for the Americans. And it was a bit rusted, so we put a little fake floor in it. But the height you can see is ridiculous. You need a monster truck wheel to fit in there. So what's going to happen is we've got our chrome smoothies running a 235 tyre. Well, there's no way we're going to get one of them in, and there's no stock rims or anything that we can use to put as a spare for our Jag front end, which is a 4.75 of an inch stud, okay, which is 120 mil approximately, same as Holden and some Chev. So what are we going to use for a spare, and how are we going to make it look good? Well, I had this brainwave idea ages ago about using one of the little donuts or space saver tyres that you have in your modern cars. But as you know, we do Suzuki Swifts. Suzuki Swift ones are about this big, so they were not going to work. But I had this idea. There's a model Commodore. It's about a 2015 model Commodore that came out with a little donut space saver type wheel. Now it is an 18-inch wheel, and they run a 155 by 70 by 18 tyre on them. So my plan was, fingers crossed, that that would fit in our gap and be a pretty good height. But the kicker was they all wanted about $100 to $150 for one of these silly little wheels, which, as you know me, we are not going to pay that kind of money for one. But last week, a couple of young gentlemen the other side of Brisbane, they have a shop called Trick Custom Fab, and they do some pretty high-end chassis construction, etc. for Chevy pickups. Now, a couple of really nice blokes. The ad was on the marketplace of the Facebooks.
Beautiful, couple of days.
And they had 2 of these space savers for free. So I went, yay. I hit them up, said I'll come up straight away and get them. And they gave me 4 white wool tyres as well for something else. So that's just an extra bonus. But, so we've got 2 of these rims now to choose from. And I'll show you them and I'll show you what my plan is. So, here is our 2 little space saver rims. Now they're slightly different in the pattern on them. So, it was which one do we like best? Well, personally, I think that one there is probably the closest looking to the smoothie that we will get. This one has the double hump in it. Admittedly, it still would look okay, but I think that one there would probably look the best. So the big question is that I hear you all asking is, will it fit though? Well, yes it does. I have already fitted it. So it definitely fits in. We'll show you that at the end, a bit later on, when we've done what we want to do with the rim first. So some of you probably have already worked out my plan, but you wouldn't have worked out how I intend to get there. But obviously we want that rim to look like that rim. So how are we going to do that for next to nothing? Well, I'm glad you asked. So this is what I come up with is, admittedly, we are not going to spend money, are we? No. So the best scenario would be that you've got a chrome smoothie in, say, a 5-inch, but the issue being we need the height, so you'd have to get a 5-inch wide by 18-inch smoothie and then get one of these silly little tyres for it. So that would be the ultimate way of doing it, yes? But with this, what could we do? Well, we could strip the tyre off and send the rim off and get it chromed and, really? So, what we've gone and done is, now we don't know how good this is going to look because this stuff never looks as good as they make out. But we've gone and got some chrome spray paint now. We'll see how it turns out. We will leave the black on but scuff it up because I think you get a better result from the chrome paint when you paint on top of black. And the plan will be that we will paint this outer section, we will paint chrome. This bulgy piece, we will paint red. So that should give us, hopefully, our chrome and our red type design. Now, if we can find an 18-inch dress ring, which I don't know if you can get, and if that fitted, that would be another way we could go about it. Now, what are we going to do for the centre, I'm hearing you asking? Well, this is what I come up with, was I've gone to the local thrift shop, op shop, whatever you want to call them. So I had this little brain wave about, as you know, we've used salad bowls and dog bowls for headlights and all sorts of salad bowls for hubcaps and stuff previously on other builds. My plan was like a little stainless steel plate, like a camping plate or something. May look similar to that hubcap, but I couldn't find one. So we went to the op shop and I got a saucepan lid. What we want is, we want a spare that at the end of the day that is usable if we had to use it, but it's basically a decorative piece, okay? The saucepan thing is just a totally decorative. If this ever went on the car, it wouldn't get a hubcap, okay? It would just be to limp you home type wheel if we really had to have it. But it's basically just a decorative piece to fill up our hole. So we want it to try to make it look as good as we can. Now the next thing we're probably going to do is, whether I grind the lettering, bit of the lettering back, but I'm planning on painting, that's right, painting, we'll see how we go, but painting the white wall on. So as you can see, we have like a 1-inch gap, and then we have like a 1.5-inch white wall. So the plan is to paint a white wall on it, and basically see if we can make this wheel look somewhat matching of the others. Shove it in here, bolt it down, and hopefully it looks cool. So that's our plan for the wheel. Now that's not all we're going to do in this episode though. As you can see, half of the car looks somewhat clean, and that's because I gave it a wipe down and gave it a coat of our homemade patina juice, but we've only done that to half the car. So the plan will be to de-dust, overspray everything, the other half, and get into all the nooks and crannies of the car and give the whole car a coating of our patina juice that we make at home. Then we also, if you can see, it's pretty hard, but I'll show you a close up later of it, our beautiful crocodile leather interior, which we handmade. This was an old a crocodile leather lounge suite that we chopped up and turned into a car seat now, and door cards and everything else. Now it has mold all over it because of the humidity in Queensland and in this shed. So we need to give that a serious clean. Also the interior is all filthy dirty, so we want to clean all the interior up as well. Originally I wanted to have a tool shifter. This is an automatic, and I had a couple of things in mind. I had a walking stick as a snake head, and we had a few other things planned, but I have gone and bought a B&M shifter. Now, I was planning on maybe putting one of those handles on the top of the B&M shifter, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. The one I got, I'm not quite sure. I think it's maybe a star. I don't know. It was a little bit painful to use, but I think it was just I wasn't used to it. Now, this is the housing. Is that what you say? The housing for it. Obviously, that will not match anything in this car. So what we want to do is either make a totally new, where the black plastic is, make it totally out of something else, or even if we were to bolt and screw stuff onto it. Later on you'll see inside the interior we have road signs and number plates everywhere in the interior, so the plan is to make either a new cover or, like I said, cover this cover with some metal signage and number plates to make that blend in. We'll then mount our shifter on our little tunnel, and then what we may also do while we're in here stuffing about is maybe try to make some sort of a cup holder for in there as well. Turned out better than expected. Now this was actually a 17-inch rim with an 80 profile tyre, and I ground the writing off like you've seen. Hopefully our edge is okay. It's lifted a bit here. We might have a bit of an ugly spot just there, but we should be able to, and maybe there, but we should be able to probably clean that up with maybe a knife or a bit of thinners. Now it looks to me like our chrome paint actually looks okay. Like it's not bad, okay? It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's chrome like real chrome, but it's pretty good. It's more chrome than silver, put it that way. So I'm happy with that. Now the big question, and I actually did a bit of the center bit, because if you look on the original wheels, it's not just the very outer lip, it comes in a bit. So I think that would be better, and we probably try to see how we go. Maybe go onto this ring with the red, or we'll just try to work out where we go with the red. Now the red will do with the brush. It's like a tractor enamel, high gloss automotive enamel, so it's a very good enamel. You painted it on and it will flatten out. It takes a long time to dry. Hopefully, because I'm pretty sure that was a colour I mixed up, and that was a colour I used, I think, on when we rebuilt that 283 engine. I think that's the 283 engine red. Hopefully I've got some left. I'm pretty sure I've still got a jar left that it hasn't, and hopefully it hasn't gone off, because otherwise we're going to have to try to colour match that colour. Oh, and we've got to go find our saucepan hubcap. Alrighty, there it is so far. It's very wet, but you know me, haven't got any patience, so we will unmask it while it's still wet and have a look. That's all the paint we're doing. We've still got to do our saucepan lid hubcap, so that, see how that turns out. But we won't be able to do that today. We'll have to let all of this dry off. But it's on there nice and thick. Probably a little bit of a run and stuff in the red, but she'll be right. We'll probably give the red another coat and try to neaten up that edge as well. Okay for some freehand of itch. So I just thought I'd come on real time and unmask, because I don't know, some of you guys like seeing the unveiling. Yes, so we just used that chrome paint, and then the other stuff we had was just it's a Rust-Oleum white. I've got lots of them, and it's actually not a bad paint that we've used there for the white wall, so fingers crossed that works well. I've got no idea where our end is, if anyone can see our end, seeing out. Right, let's just see if we can pick up an edge here. Here we go. Well, it's not too bad. There's a couple of little bleeds, but as I said, I think we should neaten them up with a blade and their Scotch-Brite a bit thinners. Now, do I recommend you do what I did by sanding the tyre for your road tyres? Well, probably not, because they probably wouldn't be legal. But remembering, this is just basically, it's a spare, but it's basically it's a decoration tyre, basically. This may go its whole life never going on the car. Hopefully so. It would only go on the car, like I said, if we had a blowout or something silly. So not a perfect little edge, but like I've said, I think we can neaten that up with a Stanley blade when it's dried. Alright, should we bite the bullet and have an attempt at the inner one? Let's try it. I can't help myself. Alright, so we're going to break this one in half and peel each way. There's one of our uglies. The paint lifted a bit. The tape lifted a bit. Alright, this is passable. Once we fix these couple of uglies, we'll get away with it. Don't know what it looks like from where you're sitting. But other than our little uglies and our little outside edge, which will neaten, I think this will be passable. I think that will look alright. Neaten this up, I think that will look pretty cool. We probably went a touch fat compared to the ones we've got on there. Like I said, we'll just come around here with the knife and we'll just neaten this little edge up. Worst case, we might need to use the little grinder or something. You know, the little air thing, the little air sander or something. We'll just sand a little edge up. Same with the inside. There's a little bad bit of masking there and a little piece there. I think when we get them all that neatened up, the white wall will look pretty nice. I think our rim's looking okay. By the time we put our centre cap on, should be sweet. So, with that said, I'm just going to quickly run up to the house and grab our lid and just suss the size out and see what we can find for the bolt. Oakley dokley. So here's our lid. As you can see, 50 cents is what we paid for that. Now, maybe we might keep looking. We'll fit this up, but we may keep looking for one that's a touch bigger. I think maybe the next size saucepan up might be the perfect one. But what the plan I think will be is, as you can see, it's got this little, hopefully you can see this, it's got this curved back in on itself and then this little lip. I think we'll cut this little lip off with the grinder so that we've got that curvy back onto itself. So we'll throw a bolt through there and then we'll drop him in. I don't know. It's a little bit different to that. So, I don't know whether it makes that stand out a bit. We can always paint it later on if we don't like the look. But I think that's, even this size might be okay because it might actually look a bit like a smoothie. So, let's take the lid off, undo that screw, and let's cut this off quickly and then see if we can find a bolt. Oakley D.I. Oakley. There we go. That's what we've come up with so far. I think that looks okay. The stainless hubcap is slightly different than our outer chrome. So that's something we could think about, is maybe painting that in the chrome. We'd probably have to paint it black, then paint it chrome. But other than that, I think it looks okay. What do you guys reckon? So there's our wheels. And then we've got our spare. I don't know, I reckon that's going to turn out all right. So we'll mount that in. I won't mount it tonight because the red's still very wet. This being the enamel, it takes a very, very, very long time to dry. But as you can see, yeah, I'll put it on with a brush, but as you can see up close, it flattens out. It nearly looks like powder coat. So it's actually not bad stuff. It's like, I think a lot of enamels do that, but a good enamel will like self-level. And so, but there, from a distance, hey, I reckon they're all right. It looks pretty cool, you know. What's that cost us? The chrome paint, I don't know, I think that was $20, but we've used about a 20th, so about $1 worth. The red paint we had, the white paint we had, the wheel we got for free, 50 cents for the saucepan and the bolt we had. So, you know, it adds us $1.50 for that spare wheel to match that, as opposed to, like I said, we would have had to get I don't know, I don't even know if we could have made this by buying it all brand new. I don't know if we could get a white wall with this size white wall and this skinnier tyre and that skinnier rim and this height, because, you know, we need this height. You can see how big that wheel is. That was the dilemma, is that big height, you know. So I don't know, that's what we've come up with. I actually really like this car, guys. I really like it. So it was a bit of a challenge of how to do it. I'll show you some more around it. Like, for those of you who are watching for the first time, I'll show you around it a bit better once we've cleaned it all and got all the rubbish out of it. But it is pretty trick. A lot of thoughts kind of gone into, like I've said, doing stuff cheaply, but having a great look, you know. So this should drive really nice, handle nice, and it should have some power and all of that. I really, really like this car. Like, I'd like to hear your opinions of it. It is big. It's a big long thing. It's pretty wide. It has a nice presence, you know, cockpit skinny. It's just, I really like the look of it. I really, really, really like the look of it. And so drop your opinions of what you guys think. People that have been here to the shop, this is always the one that this is their favourite, generally, out of all of the builds that they see, out of the, you know, the two Bedfords, the Chevy, this one. So out of the four rods, this is always everyone's favourite. They all love this in person. It is a really, really gorgeous looking jigger. So, any rate, with that said, I'm going in. As you can see, it's now night time. Little mate is over there patiently waiting to go in and have his dinner. So tomorrow the wheel will be dry. We'll fit it up and we'll see what it actually looks like. Oakley dokley. So there it is there. Now what I'm thinking, I think it looks not bad. What I think we'll do though is the center hubcap, you know, our stainless steel saucepan lid. I think we might take that off and we might paint that black and then paint it chrome so that it matches that better. Standing here, the chrome paint looks not bad to the chrome wheel, but the stainless is a bit off, I think. So I think we'll get the saucepan lid off, paint it black, then we'll paint it chrome, put it back on, and I think so then that will just match. It's not the exact same. As you can see, this dish is out, that dish is in, all of that. But I think overall, it looks okay. Now the spare, of course, your spare cat doesn't have to be the same wheel. It can, as long as it looks the part, I think. Now the thing is, this is held on with this nut, see? Down here, set up here. And we've got all this extra thread. Now, what I'm thinking is, one, we want to make this so we can get it off and on, reasonably easy. Two, I think we should maybe trim this down. But so I've got another nut. It had a double nut setter on it. And what I've found is, I've gone and grabbed like a lid off of I don't know what it was off, like a saucepan or a cupboard or something, right? And it's a bit of a metalworky type one, yes? And then it's probably, I don't know what it's made out of, but I'm thinking of welding, this is our nut here that works on that thread. Maybe welding another nut on it, like that. And then our bolt will run through. Let's just set this up quickly. Our bolt will run through like this. And our handle will go on the top. And we'll neaten all this up, so we'll probably get that on the bench grinder and round that nut up or whatever. Make it look good. So that's what I'm sort of thinking. Then this can screw down onto the other one. We might even weld the two nuts together, pull it off, weld everything out, screw it back down. So we've basically got this, I don't know, maybe I should just weld that to that, see if we can just weld that onto there. So basically we can use this. We'll still have a nut. We could put a spanner on, but we'll have this little handly top thing that we could use to unscrew it. But basically, I just think that would look nicer with a nice little handle top on there, as opposed to just that like that. And I think we'll cut this down lower, so it'll just sit there like, we'll see a nice little finish off piece, I think. I might just quickly throw this on the grinder, the bench grinder, and peel it back and just see what it's made out of. See if we could weld this. It's probably, I don't know, it could be cast, it could be anything, but maybe we'll see if we could weld this straight to that nut. Otherwise, we'll do it the other way, like I just said, with the nut and the screw and all that. So I'll quickly test this out and we will be back in a minute. Okay, so it looks like it is metal, not brass or anything, or cast. At least the shaft looks like it's some type of metal. So we'll have a little crack, see if we can get that to weld straight to the nut. Then, like I said, I think we may, then we'll have a look at it, eh? Anyway, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that worked. We welded it on, and pretty simple stuff, really. No right or wrong. There's no right or wrong in doing this stuff, guys. It's do whatever is in here that you think that you want. Like, there's no, oh, he's done that the wrong way, he's done that the right. We're just making stuff up as we go, right? Like with this stuff, we're using whatever. Like it's just smacked on there as quick as we can, and it's just a little finishing off piece. Like, did it need to have it? No, it didn't. But you must admit, standing here, just looking back at it, I'll put you in on a bit different zoom. Just standing there like that, looking at that, like, guys, like, it just finishes it, doesn't it? You don't see this ugly thread sitting there now. You've just got this nice little finished off piece. Now, like I said, that was a saucepan handle, so there's no right or wrong, or, using the wrong stuff, or anything like that. It's just, instead of having an ugly thread, we welded a saucepan handle to a nut, and it suits the whole thing, I believe. Just use what's in your head. There's no right or wrong. Go to the thrift shop or the op shop or the flea markets or any of that stuff. Scrap, the swap meets, and just see random things, especially in some of the op shops or the flea markets. You'll see random items that you may be able to use. So, for argument's sake, I picked up this little pork barrel the other week for a couple of dollars. Now, I don't know. Who knows what we'll use it for? I just thought it looked groovy and maybe we'll use it on something. Today, I picked this up. Just this weird shaped bottle. Like, it's not old or anything. It had, I don't know what it was. Maybe a water bottle or something. I just thought that was it was like $1 or 50 cents or something. I just thought that could be maybe a radiator bottle or something. I just like the shape of it. This I picked up a few weeks ago. Just a little wooden box with an old vintage latch, and just an old wooden box, not bad little dowel work, joins. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use it for, but I just thought that might be cool. That might be good in the center console or something, phone chargers in it, or a little coin box or something, Like, we're making dashes and drink cup holders and all this, you know, that might be next to the cup holders, and it's where you throw your loose change. So just random, I'll just get random things, guys, and then see what happens. You know, like this. This basket is all full of door and saucepan handles and everything, you know, and if you've watched the channel, you've seen how much of this we use. We use this thing all the time. I think we got the whole box, like, from the op shop for next to nothing, and we just make stuff from it. Like, you know, again, we made a radiator overflow bottle out of one of them. If you haven't seen that, it's on our Hot Wheels Bedford build, which, you know, the theme has turned into some sort of like skulls and stuff is part of that build, and just making random stuff. And in doing that, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you think either goes with your build or flows, you know, like, just do whatever. So I think that is a really cool little finish off piece that sort of kinda nearly looks like it was come like it. So next, some dribbling. No, it's just that it, you know, if you're going to do something like this, like a ratty or a, you know, there's no, when you're building these guys, there's no right, there's no wrong. You do it your way, okay? Like, if someone looks at it and thinks you're an idiot, who cares? As long as you love what you've built, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like, people probably don't agree with what I did with the rim and tyre. Oh, I should have just left it black, or I should have just painted it chrome, or, well, I did this to match. Like, you know, I shouldn't have used a space saver. I should have gone on board and spent $1,000. Like, come on. You do what you do. You just do. You just do you, is what the saying is. And that's what I think the world needs a bit more of. There's some philosophy. So at any rate, back to our weird and wonderful looking Oakland. Oakley. There is our wheel. Bit sideways then, weren't you? I think that looks better, because now the chromes on there look even, and even if they look slightly different to the real chrome, it looks even on that wheel. Now, to me, it just looks like that, maybe a touch cleaner than that, so it actually works. So this is a bit more of a silvery type chrome, I suppose you would say. The real chrome probably nearly looks like it's a bit dirtier. Well, so I will call that success, and I'm semi-impressed with that chrome. So I think the key, if you're going to use the chrome paint, I honestly believe one of the keys is, and we've used this before on a headlight, inside a headlight bucket, and it worked pretty good. I think we used it on a hubcap once before, and they were silver, and it didn't look real good. I think the key, like I'm about to say, is that you put the black down. I seen something on a YouTube video or something somewhere where they were painting a car in chrome, and I think the key is to run a black base down. So I honestly don't think that looks too bad. I really think we might have a winner. And at the end of the day, that wheel can fit as a spare if we ever need it. Okay, so that's the bonus, is we've made it look right, we've got it to fit in, and it is actually usable at the end of the day. But basically it's there 90%, 99.9% hopefully, they're just solely for the decoration purpose. I honestly think it's okay. Now, a question I have for all of you viewers is, the back of the wheel I've just left black. So I would like a comment from yous on, we're going to have 3 option Aviches, and one, of course, is just leave it black so it sort of blends in a bit with the black car. We could paint the inside all chrome or red. Now, honestly, I think it's either black or chrome, personally. So drop your comments on what you think I should do with the inside of that rim. So we'll have another, you're not going to see it a lot, but it's just these little fine details, see? So you'd see it here, you can see it, see? So should we have that chrome or black? I don't think we need a white wool on the inside. But if you think we do, drop your comments on that as well. But I think just the white wool on that, I think that looks good. I actually think it's cool. So now, and remembering we did that little cool little finish off cap. See, just cool. Anyway, we've got our stinking B&M shifter. Now I think this one is, come over to the mess table, because I just cleaned it and inoxed it. Now I think this is one is I think it's a star shifter. I don't know, I think it might be a little bit worn. But I know the star shifter one is weird. I've never had one, and there's a weird way of it. Like there's 2 different ways you can use it or something. And maybe I just haven't got my head quite around it. But to me, it seems a bit worn. But it shouldn't really matter. Our base should kind of be the same no matter what. Yeah, we may have to replace that down the track. We'll just see. Maybe I just don't know how to use it properly. So this is what we're going to do. So the plan is, this is our cover. And as you can see, it's been chopped and hacked a bit anyway, obviously to suit their car. So covering it is a very good idea. And there is our chrome part that sits in there. Now, this is what I'm thinking is, we're going to put, these number plates are not real number plates. These are from a movie. You can see they're like a plasticky type thing. So they're perfect for this sort of stuff. Perfect sometimes for putting in. So we've got a few of them on the inside, if you haven't seen me do this. We have some real number plates in there, but we have some fake. So like that's a real one. I think that one there is a real one, real sign, fake. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag. But through the center section here, let me zoom you down there, some bad camera. That's a fakie, that's a fakie. I think those two up there are fakies. Okay, but they actually look okay. In the car, you can't pick them. So they work pretty well, and we've used some of these fake ones in the Chev. So what it was I quite often buy a lot of stuff at auction, and sometimes they have movie props down at the Gold Coast on the auction, ex-movie props. I've found some awesome stuff in that auction, car parts and etc. And they had a heap of number plates one day. I think I got them for $30 or something ridiculous. But in there was like 10 or 20 real number plates, but a heap of fake ones and different types. So that's a fake one, but it has raised letters. There's some fat card, like the Texas ones are on a pretty fat card. And then we got these. So we got California, Minnesota, Texas. I think there was a couple of others. So this is just some real plates, random plates, just like plates and offcuts of plates that I just throw in the box. We've got some motorbike ones here, and so there's a couple of more I've got to go grab from outside, some Canadian ones, etc. So any rate, what I'm getting at is, I've gone and put this in the folder and bent it, and it didn't split or anything, so that's pretty good. So the plan is, we're going to sit that on the side like that, yeah? Now, I was thinking about going further in, but then this would sit up high, so that will still sit flush with that, and this will come in nicely on the side, and we'll probably maybe just throw some pop rivets or something, or glue it or something. Okay, maybe we'll glue it. So what I'm thinking at this stage is, we're going to line this to start with. So we're going to put the end caps on. We'll fold up a side for each side, and I've marked on there with the blue pen to trim it down. But what I'm thinking of is putting, perhaps maybe having this angled, but then also maybe putting a piece straight up, a sign straight up. Sort of, this is all, we'll see how we go. This is just a theory at the moment. And maybe we could have that as like a little, where we put our phone, and then I don't know, either the front or the back, we have we continue them maybe, so maybe on the sides here we have like two or something, or we go out further, and we set up a drink holder there. So the drink holder would be, for argument's sake, that we have a sign that runs off like that with holes in it, okay? And you can actually buy, I don't know if I've got any handy, but you can basically buy these little drop-in, something like this. We might even be able to use that. That would nearly work. Little drop-in cup holders. I've got some for one of the other cars, but that, I just seen that would nearly work. We'll go get a drink in a minute, bottle, and see how that sits in there. But anyway, you know what I'm saying now. So we'll drill a hole saw hole in one of these, you know, drop our little thing in, and Bob will be your uncle. You understand what I'm getting at. So we're still in the design phase. First, like I've said, I'll fold another number plate up for the other side. We'll trim them down. We'll work out how we're going to do our ends, because we want this completely boxed regardless of what we're going to do. And then we'll work out what we do for our drink holder. And I think it would be good to have like a little phone holder, because, you know, I always throw my phone or my wallet in somewhere. So I think that would be a good thing. And because later on, something we will probably have, you know, you got to wire in some USBs and stuff and nowadays for your GPS and for your phone to charge and all that malarkey. So yeah, we'll set something up, whether we have that wired into this or we just have that under the dash with the cord that drops down that goes into our little holder. So, right, what we're going to do is do what we said, but we also need to take this into the car and work out where we think it should sit and where our drink holder, etc., would be best. See, so I'll get in the car in a minute and get comfy and see what I think where it should go. We've got to also factor in that the seat folds forward. So we've got to think about that. See, you got to think about stuff. We've got to think about where that will go at the same time. So I'll work that out. We'll come back and do some more. Oakley dokley. So we have a plan. Will it work? Who knows? So here's our cover. Now we've got this piece of a number plate. This is a real one. As you can see, it's angled, and we've got the little fold on to the top. We've just folded it around the sides there. Then what we're going to do is these ones here, these two, are going to go something like that and get pop riveted on. And as you can see, we've notched it up in the corner there. Boom, up the top there. Yep. Okay, so that's folded in, and of course our little bit of dodgy camera ring. I can't get this in, but you get the gist of what's going on there. I can't put that in because of the pliers, but you get the gist. See, that butts up onto there nicely. Same on the other side. Butts up on there nicely. So that should look pretty cool, I think. Then we've got to do another one for the back here. Okay, there'll be one at the back here, and that will just be straight. So I'm thinking we'll pop rivet everything on. So this is the front of the shifter, and as you can see, it's got a bit of an angle. So the plan then is we will have, say, another piece coming up from the ground straight up, assigned straight up, okay? And that will have a little triangular compartment that we can basically throw my phone in, is what I'm thinking. Our phone's in. And then, for argument's sake, we'll just show this so you can see. We're going to continue running this way. Got our little vertical, like that. The sides are going to continue. So we're going to be boxed in like this. Okay, so we've got our little container. These are going to keep going, and we're going to have this sort of like this, if that makes sense. And in here we're going to drill a couple of holes, and I'm going to check these for size, but I might have some other ones lying around, and we'll hole saw them in. Is that making sense? We'll hole saw them in, and they'll be sitting here and here. Now the one thing we have to do is, this is on the tunnel on an angle, and we don't want our cup holders, of course, on an angle, do we? So this will actually flatten out, if that is making some sort of sense. I hope you can follow that. Is that a plan? I think it's somewhat of a plan, any rate. Fingers crossed I don't stuff this up. Oakley, that's enough for me tonight. It's getting pretty late and I'm starving. And so is my little mate. He's gone and had his dinner and he's come back. So this is why hopefully you're starting to follow what I'm doing now. So we've actually put another little cubby holder in the back here. Put your phone or whatever, drop your keys in. We may even fill that and make that a bit shallower, but that's a pretty cool little couple of phone holders or whatever. Throw your wallet in. And then the shifter, so remembering this will be up on an angle, Okay, and this here will actually be horizontal. Okay, does that make sense? So this will actually be, if I can do this, it will be sort of like that in there in the tunnel. Okay, as you can see, it looks pretty cool. This still needs some more rivets and everything. That's looking pretty cool, I think. I don't know what you guys reckon. But we'll have 2 cup holders here, drink holders. We'll have a little stash spot here for something. And we'll have another little area here for something. Oakley, you can see it's pitch black again. We have done a little bit off the camera. We've been in and out this afternoon doing some things in and out from town, etc. A few odd other jobs. So we've come back, done a bit, the ear bit there. So anyway, there it is. It's 99.9% done. It's been drilled and we've made little spaces. The shifter itself, normally they're on the trans hump, yeah? So you mount the shifter to the top and the casing would fit around the hump, yes? Because we're putting it on a flat, the actual shifter is off the bottom, if that makes any sense. So we found all the bolts and made some little spaces to prop it up nicely, all that good stuff. But we've got to jack the car up to put the nuts on from underneath. So yeah, we haven't finalised bolting it in, but it's all drilled and the bolts are in and everything. We just got to get underneath to put the nuts in. So we have to take the chrome cover off tomorrow when we do that back up. But I don't know what you last seen, but we've done a lot. So we'll zoom in there in a second. And we got a bit tricky. So I spent about 2 hours looking for this thing I had, but I couldn't find it. It was you plug it into your cigarette lighter and it had like 2 or 3, it was like an extension. It had 2 or 3 cigarette lighter, 12 volt plugs, and it had some USB plugs and whatever. And I was going to mount that into this section here, was my plan. But I couldn't find it, so I don't know where it is. I spent hours looking for it. So anyway, we mounted a 12 volt supply in there, and the wiring's just in there underneath. We'll have to drill a hole for that later and wire that in. And we've made this little cubby hole here. So this is going to be for our phone. So here's my phone. It fits in there perfectly. Boom, and the boss could put her in, so we could put 2 phones in there or whatever. Yeah, so that will be our little phone, and we can have a charger going from there to there, or we may have another charger point up on the dash for a GPS or whatever. But I thought that was okay. And then we've got another little cubby hole up here, throw some change, or I suppose change will be a pain, but, throw my wallet or something in there, anything, a business card, whatever. And then we've got our 2 cup holders, which are horizontal. And the top one, the base, so this one here, we actually panel beaded the base because it was too tall, yeah? So that's all panel beaters. So we may actually put something in there to level that one up. But a drink bottle goes in. See if I can reach one here. We've got one. As you can see, now remembering these were covers off of a mag wheel, yeah? And as you can see, perfect bottle of water and the top. So it's just the top one's a little bit on an angle. So yeah, we may actually put something in to level that up like that. But that's okay. It's tucked up under there. You know, you can still access it. That would be the passenger. This would be the driver one. Yeah, so there's a little cup holder. Little spot for our wallet. We've got our B&M shifter. And we've got a phone holder and a 12-volt plug. Hey, how cool. And like remembering, this is made out of, not even like, that's a metal one, that's a metal one, and our phone thing's a metal one. The rest of them are all like a plastic type fake number plate. But I think at the end of the day, it looks sweet. So they're all pop riveted onto the plastic housing. Like the shifter will be solid. I don't want to move it yet because it's not actually bolted down like I said. But the shifter will all be solid, and you know the center console in your Chrysler or your Mazda or whatever is made out of plastic. So you know I think that's cool. I actually think it looks pretty trick. And look from here, hey, I don't know. I think that's not a bad looking little jigger. Now one thing I may do later on though is I may change. We may get rid of the black shifter handle and maybe do a wooden one. I think a wooden one would look trick. But hey, that looks pretty neat, doesn't it? And cool. Like I've said, you just got to have an imagination to come up with some of this weird and wonderful stuff. And I like that. I think that's, like I've said it a few times, I actually reckon that's cool. I reckon that's really cool. So when we first did this cab on the ground, the doors were just closed so nice. And those handles were pristine, like they'd just pop open. And now that it's all mounted, and when we picked it up with the hoist and all that, everything sort of pulled and twisted and went all a bit weird. And I can't quite get these doors as nice as I had them. Like, they're okay, but you really got to give them a bit of curry to slam them, and they don't open as nice. Whereas before, you used to just come up and see, look, it's not even wanting to open. Now it's wanting to, I don't know what, maybe I had that wrong. Yeah, it doesn't even want to open the same. So I don't know what's going on there. We're going to have to tweak that a little bit at some stage, but that's further down the track. So yeah, we've done our cool little wheel. I actually really like the wheel. I'm actually pretty happy with the stuff we've done today. So what we've also got is, I bought a heap of different indicators and stuff. So we got, this one was like a stop tail is what my thoughts were on that one. And we've got, this one is just a straight up indicator. I thought we could use that one on the front. I thought that sort of matches the headlights. And this was a black one I got. Now, this one is, the center is an indicator and the outer ring there is a stop tail. So this one can do everything. Now, I did the black little bullet. Basically, I thought in here it would nearly, you know, black one would nearly hide it. So that was my thoughts of that. So I don't know the rules, but this actually does everything. So whether, it's pretty tiny tail light though, so I'm not quite sure with the back as yet, but I think we'll use these as our indicators and a secondary stop tail. I think I wanted these in black, but I couldn't get them. So I don't know if we'll use these or not as our stop tails. But I think we'll definitely mount these ones in the front somewhere. So we'll go to do that. We'll do that and we'll think about the tails. I don't know if there's something else that I want or not. But our camera's about to die. We've also got to do all the cleanup of the car as well yet. So we haven't finished. We've still got a bit to do. With all that said, I better go before the camera dies. I've got to go have dinner. So does little mate. So I'll see yous in the morning. Oakley. So we're back. As you can see, it is jacked up off the ground. I think you last seen we had the console sitting in. Now I'm just taking the cover and stuff back off of it. And the plan now is I've got to go get the boss to come down to help me. And I'm going to get under there and see if I can snake my hand up to bolt it down. So I'm going to quickly do that. Now, what I've just been doing this morning is, as you can see, the hard lid's up. Now, I haven't finished cleaning it or nothing. I've given it just a wipe off with the banister brush. But what I just did this morning was these chains. Now, I just had short little ones with this thing made up to about here before. And so I've just lengthened the chains and set up this arrangement. So how this works is, as you can see, we can chain the tailgate open and then we can wind it up, and we've got our little dooflacky here. We unhook it. Okay, the same on this one. We unhook it, close our tailgate, and then hook it back through. Now you can do a double whammy on it like that, so there's no way it will ever come off. Same over here. So you can just do that if you wanted, or you just bend it around, do the double whammy, boom, and that can't open. And we've got our chains dangling, looking cool, making noise, being ratty, and so I think that is not a bad little way of doing it. Now, if you haven't seen in here, this is what we got in here. See, like I've said, this is a pretty nice little jigger. So this here is our fuel tank under here, and where that is, I need to get a cap for it, or make a cap or something, but that's our fuel tank filler. So we in there like that. This is all rubber, got all rubber on it, so it's all nice. So I thought that was a little trick, and then you just put the little ocky strap on it, holds it in place. As you can see, we got the floor all in. Now these panels are all bolted together, but they're not actually bolted into the floor, so they can actually be pulled out. Those wooden panels, so you know, they can be pulled out and to access underneath if we ever needed to, but they are in there nice and tight. Now we've got gas struts off of a hatchback, off of a Suzuki, holding our big solid wooden hard lid up here. And what I'm thinking of doing, I was just looking at it today, standing back here, it's all very black and boring up there, isn't it? So I was going to grab our little stencil for our emblem, and I was thinking I might paint our emblem on there, and then maybe get the airbrush and do some airbrushing around the outside of the emblem to, you know, like the pin line of the writing or whatever. And maybe we'll paint the emblem on there just to break that up, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, so we've quickly, this morning, we did the chains and we cut the excess thread off those bolts. So we got that there sorted out. Also had a bit of a play with our mirrors, adjusted them. And we also had a little play on this door and got this door heaps better. We adjusted the hinge and we got that closing really nicely and opening nicely now. So now something else we did, I haven't mounted this, but drop your thoughts on that sitting there. I think that looks pretty cool. Actually, that little, I'm not sure what that's off. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I think it's off of a Ford, but the little plane thing there, well, that might look pretty groovy sitting on there. But any rate, that's where we're up to. We've still got to do a few more things. So, there, look at that. Look at that beautiful looking 1928 Oakland. So we have just, like literally 30 seconds ago, finished giving it a first little wipe down with our patina juice, and we've gone over the wood and everything because it's basically a wood oil that we use. It's a concoction we mix up, but it has wood oil. But just check this thing out, guys. Drop your comments. Is that one cool looking hot rod or what? I absolutely, like I said earlier, I love the look of this thing. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it. It's classy, it's cool, it's like cranky look. It's got everything to me. It's like the full package. It's mean looking, it's aggressive, but it's classy, all in the one thing, which is, I think, pretty hard to pull off. So, what did we get done? Well, we'll go from the back to the front. So, we obviously just did the patina juicing, yes, and it will need a lot more. It is still very dirty. It's been sitting in here for a long time. It basically will need to be pressure cleaned and then juiced up, okay? But we've done our little front indicators here. This is what we did. This is what I bought. I bought these little tiny ones, little chrome ones, and I bought them because they kind of thought they looked a bit like the headlights, okay? So that's why I put them. I hummed and hard at all different spots. I ended up just put them down there, half hidden. Remembering we don't really want these things, they're not a prominent, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make these like half hidden, nearly not hidden, but I want them to look good, but also I don't want them standing out too much. So yeah, I've just stuck them down in there. They're, I think, in a pretty legal type spot and will do the job. So just some little LED chrome to match that is what we did on the front. So that's what we've done there. And they're not wired in or nothing yet. Nothing's wired. We'll do all the wiring at the same time, okay? We actually had to drop the transmission down to bolt in our shifter because I couldn't get me big mitt in between up in there. So I actually had to drop the cross member, drop the transmission down. So that was a little bit of fun. And there's our console with our shifter. I actually think that looks really, 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 really cool. And it is also, what's the word we're looking for? We can use it. Anyway, we've got cup holders, we got phone holders, all that good stuff. We've given the interior, the leather, the croc leather, a proper clean, and then we've given it some rejuvenation stuff. So hopefully it may slow down the mold. It'll probably come back. We probably have to put something else on. It looks beautiful. The door cards. We also adjusted the hinge on this door, and now, boom, look at that. It opens and shuts perfectly again, which is how it used to work. But we've got it working again like that, so I'm happy with that. Croc door cards. We've actually given all the floor, all the wipe. Like, you must admit, that looks pretty nice. Don't you think that looks pretty nice? I don't know. I think it looks pretty nice. The steering wheel, we actually double-sided tape that on. What we're going to do is, I think we'll get our logo put in there. We'll either make something or we'll just get a black a sticker done in chrome or something maybe and stick it on there, a little tiny baby one. Maybe just the actual snake head or something. That's what I think we'll do there. We adjusted and tightened up our mirrors so that they don't hit on the edge of our door anymore. So another bit of good stuff. Like I said, we've wiped all this down. Now we've come to the back. This is what we have ended up doing. We've got these lights here. So these are a stop and a tail light, and with a smoked lens. Now, I think I wanted black ones, but I couldn't get them. So drop your comments whether you think I should paint the actual chrome piece black or leave them. So that is just a stop and a tail. Okay, and I thought, I hummed and hard where to put them, and then I thought on the guards there it looks pretty trick. So we'll go back in a minute. And then we got the little bullet, the blacked out bullet ones. Now the reason I got black here was to sort of basically hide them. Now these are indicators in the center, and then a stop and a tail in the outer ring there. So these do both. So we've got two stop tails. So no one should be able to say anything about that, about these being back there. We've got these ones on the edge, and we've got indicators. So yeah, black ones here to basically make them stealthy, and drop your comments whether we should black those housings out. Now, we also did our chains, redid our chains like I said earlier, and I think that looks pretty cool. Now, so the chains will dangle around, you know, make noise and stuff, and like a rat rod's meant to. Then, so there's our, see the black ones? You can't even see them. That was my idea. So that's what it looks like. Nice little, they do not take away from the look of the car. So I am leaning towards maybe blacking them out. So we'd have to paint probably like a red undercoat underneath, then black them, and maybe give them a little scuff to give a bit of patina. And I think that would look pretty cool. Now see if I can lift this up one-handed. Oh, no, I couldn't do it. But anyway, we haven't wiped down in here as yet. Like I've said, there's all our floor fuel thing. So we have to do a fuel cap soon. And I think maybe in the next one we do in the Oakland, we may do something in here with the logo. Who knows? I may even go, I don't know. I'll think about this. That's why I haven't done it. I want to think about it. Putting the logo in. I may even go crazy and do all flames and do a big airbrush piece. But I don't want to make the car look a bit bogany. So we'll think about the two options. Whether we leave it, we do the logo, or we do a full logo and full piece in there. I think, if anything, we'll just do the logo though. Okay, so, and then watch this. This thing's on a snap because it's, oh, it takes every bit of power. So that's cool, that thing. Now remembering, the plan one day is we will have a roof, whether it's a convertible, like a fabric, leather type roof. Probably, I don't know, I think you'd probably do it in black, like a black canvas roof that would fold down and probably unclip and just shoved it in the back there. Or the other option is we make an actual metal style hard roof, and then we make it so that it as well clips off and fits in here. So that's something that we will look at down the track once it's all running and stuff though first. And then we've done the space saver wheel. I don't know if you've seen, but we ended up painting the hubcap in the chrome paint as well. And I think that looks pretty good. So we got a few little things done, and we just made a little bit of progress. And the thing was, one, we're back onto our cool stuff, but two, it was basically a week of no work because it's enjoyable, see? So I've been doing the flip cars, as you all know, and all have been hating, but that is a job, okay? That is coming down and doing a job for me because it is about making money. These are not about making money. These are my personal collection. And these, when we're doing this stuff, it's fun as much as it can be. And it has been really fun this week, seeing that I haven't done anything on these for a fair while. It has actually been really fun for me. Hopefully this video was okay for you. So drop your comments on this car. What is your favourite of our hot rods? We've got the red Bedford. We've got the little Hot Wheels Bedford. We've got the little Chevy with the fake flames. Or we've got the 28 Oakland. Tell me what your favourite is. Which one should I push the hardest on? You're probably going to say this one. And this one I am probably not going to push the hardest on. But with that said, doing these few jobs on it and making it look like this again, it has really given me some drive to want to finish this car. It is a really nice car. So, hope you enjoyed us tinkering on our Oakland this week. And I'll say thank you guys for watching. Next week, we'll see what we've got on. But we are having a Bedford one coming up very soon. Whether it's next week or the week after, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. But I'll see you next week.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.